Few people realize that if a family member passes away and you hold the will, there's an important deadline to meet. If you fail to file the will within a year of death, you could end up losing your inheritance. Here to discuss this quirk in Ohio probate law is my law partner, Michael Solomon.
Hello, Lori.
Welcome again to the show.
Thank you.
So for example, if you're holding one of your parents' wills and you don't file it with the probate court within a year, you could stand to lose everything you would have gotten?
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically under Ohio law, if you have control of the will and then someone passes away and you haven't filed that will within a year, or if you've concealed it, and you don't have a reasonable cause for not filing it, you could potentially lose the inheritance.
Whew. Have there been a lot of cases that actually have fallen under this statute?
Only a handful. It's really a question of proof. You have to show that someone has control of the will. They didn't file it within a year, and there was no good reason for them not to file the will. So it's a question of proof. But once you prove it, the remedy is drastic. They lose their entire inheritance. They can lose their inheritance. So Ohio, I think, is the only state that has a law like this, as far as I can tell. So Ohio has just recently tinkered with the law a little bit. Used to be, if you violated that rule, not only did you lose your inheritance, but all of your children lost their chance to inherit. Now Ohio says only the bad person who violated the law loses their inheritance.
So how do we avoid this problem?
Well, it's kind of simple. Just file the will. So if you have the will, make sure within a year you file the will. If you don't want to have all that responsibility, maybe another family member will handle it. Or if you can't find anybody, you could always deposit the will with the probate court, and that should relieve you of that risk.
Okay, get you off the hook, huh?
Yes.
But what if it's the other side holding the will and they refuse to file the will?
Well, I had a situation like that recently, actually. So, first of all, make sure the year has passed. And once the year has passed, you now have leverage. So if you're having a family dispute, you could say, look, you haven't filed this will in a year, you could lose your entire inheritance. Why don't we negotiate? I was able to use that. We were able to negotiate a fair deal for both sides.
Okay, well, that's always good when it works out fairly.
That's right.
What if there's a trust involved?
Now, Ohio trust law does not have a similar provision, so there is no rule like that. There are all sorts of obligations on the trustee to give notices to beneficiaries and accountings, and beneficiaries have all sorts of rights. So that's the way they protect themselves, and I'll cover that on another show.
All right, good information about probating wills in the state of Ohio. So if you're involved in a probate estate, you need to make sure you follow the rules, or you could end up losing an inheritance. For help, give Mike a call. The number's next.
Call Solomon, Steiner and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com. Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, to stay healthy, don't hibernate. We'll share ways to keep moving this winter. Then, your wealth has a lot to do with your well-being. We'll uncover how investments can help avoid illnesses. In honor of Valentine's Day, we'll look at how to learn to love after loss. Plus, we'll introduce others' innovative ideas on how to improve our area. And, do you have an ethical will? We'll explain why it's important. But until then, please, remember to make the most of your golden opportunities. If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.